we spent a bunch of time building our basic steel factory way off in the distance over here. And today I want to actually bring that steel over to our main base and start using it to produce our versatile frameworks. Now, we don't have much of an actual base over here, so we're going to start spending a bunch of time developing this, ripping it down, building it up into something. I've got some big plans for some factories over here to actually start making this usable. Right now, we are in the basic stages, and this is all going to change very dramatically. But that's going to take some time, and while we're building that and cleaning this stuff up, I want our small amount of modular frames to be used with our steel to make our versatile framework to complete our phase 2 objectives. Now, in order to do that, I need to unlock our vehicle transport, and then we're probably going to build a bit of a road. I want to take a road kind of from right here on this ledge in the center of the screen all the way over to our steel, and then set up an automatic route for our trucks. Now, I know I could do conveyors, but I think having conveyors run across your world, even if it is just for, temporary, I think it's tacky. I don't like it. I would rather use vehicles and then build a small road. We can always tear it out. It's not a big deal. But before we do that, I've also been spending some time developing our coal power plant, just kind of designing the building that goes around our coal generators. And I've run into a bit of a snag. I need glass, which means we need to find quartz. All this stuff in here, it's looking cool, but I need glass to actually finish the design that I want. I don't know if I like this. It was just something I was trying. The problem is I need to bring these out from the wall a little bit more. They're a little bit too flat, but it's interesting because with Satisfactory, they have the lumen system from, part of Unreal, I think, and it's turned on now, but it wasn't. Apparently, if you have your shadow quality to low, it is not actually on. So when I go in here now, you're gonna see it's very dark and very moody, which I absolutely love. However, if I turn it back off, this is how it looks by default, and it's crazy bright. So now by turning the shadow quality up, we have a serious need for lighting, which is great. That comes from Quartz, which means we have to go on a bit of a mission. So over here, let me show you guys what I've been working on. Basically, I'm just trying to get the idea laid out. There's still so much to do. I've been only messing around for a little bit. As you can see, I've painted some things are not painted. This roof actually clips into the pipes here, so that's not cool. It's also very dark now, so I understand that I just said it's dark and you probably can't see this, so hopefully it actually works. Over here, we have just our entranceway for the wall that I just showed you, and then I've completed the outer edge here, so you can see this is all stone underneath. I think it fits a lot better. I do want to add some kind of angularity to the bottom, kind of like this or like that, just to kind of make this feel a little less flat. And then upstairs here, I've been really trying to figure out the design for this. So what I want is to make this kind of a control room. I don't know, but I want to have like a walkway outside so you can kind of overview the pumps and stuff from up here. Obviously this makes it so you can't really see it, but it's just the look, it's the aesthetic, it's not really for, proper function. In here though, I think this looks really cool. So we've added these vents. I'm calling them vents, but the slatted roof like this, and you can see the lighting with the lumen system really adds some cool effects on the walls here with the lights coming through. And then over here, we did kind of the same thing inside here, which I think this looks really awesome. Obviously I did paint these beams and stuff, but with the lights coming through, I think this looks so cool, having beams here, the roof's all open and exposed to the world. I do want to add glass in here. It's kind of cool at the moment, but I do think I'm probably going to change these beams across. I think the ones in the center probably come out, and then it's more like automated shutters kind of opening or something. It's kind of my idea of how this should look. But I like the idea, the design of this, and it looks really cool. At night, it's very spooky because it's like hazy and super dark, and I'm just waiting for a giant spider to jump out and eat me. But I do want to put glass here along these walls to kind of separate the actual, if you're walking here, these are probably very hot, and I think that you need to have something here like safety-wise, so putting glass here I think will help that aesthetic. So we have a need for glass, which means we need quartz. And thankfully we already have everything we need to unlock our vehicles. So now that we have our vehicles unlocked, I want to find a place to put our assembler to start working on our versatile framework. We do have our modular frames being produced here. And while I've been working on our power plant, I put a smart splitter through here so that anything excess over and above our storage will overflow outwards into the awesome sink. So I think we're at like 20 tickets right now. This was overflowing pretty good for a while. So we have a decent amount of tickets to be used to unlock things. Now I have unlocked a couple things that you guys haven't seen. For instance, we did some different wall types here. I did the painted beams, and I think I did the power switches. So nothing crazy, but there is some things we've spent on, and now we can do a whole bunch more. So our assembler, I'm gonna try put it here somewhere, but it looks like, let's see here. So versatile framework is gonna require 2.5 modular frames per minute and 30 steel beams. So I think if we build a road up here and dump our steel down into a storage and then into this, it's gonna be very spaghetti-like, but it's only temporary. And then we take our versatile frames, we can do the excess off of here into this. Problem is, we're only producing 2 a minute. So it's a little bit less than we need, but I don't think it's gonna be a problem because next episode, I want to rip all this out. You can see I'm actually gonna laying out some unpowered buildings here just to kind of get an idea in my mind of what I wanna do. And we're gonna take this from the current, like, I think it's 4 smelters over there. I wanna take this up to about 30 smelters. We're gonna take all this stuff up here, move a bunch of it down here. I have a design in my mind for a big building over here we're gonna do, and we're gonna really, really pump this up. But before I do that, we should probably put the blueprint designer down, which I don't even know if I have room for it anywhere. I want to put this down so we can start making like a basic road design. It's only temporary, but I want to design something that is kind of nice, maybe. So we can actually build. Where the hell do you put this thing? So I placed like 2 blueprints down and I've already run into some issues. So the plan was to use these frame foundations underneath to kind of give us like some support and stuff to the road. So it's not just a single foundation floating here. This is also so we can put like pipes or belts or a walkway even, or our power. All this needs to go underneath here. And it just gives it more depth. I don't like having just a single floating platform all the way across the world. So it's kind of giving it a little bit more design. Then on top of this, I wanted to have like an elevated walkway here. So what I did is I actually used these half slabs, like the half foundations, and they look really cool. I think these low barriers look cool. This whole thing looks really nice. Put a painted beam here, rotated, angled, so it kind of gives it a nice look. The problem is there is no ramp version of these foundations. So it's really hard to make that work. The other thing is these beams don't snap to a ramp. So these are kind of out of the question because I don't want to go from like this to this as we kind of translate up or down. So we can do the ramp thing, but then it becomes a full wide ramp. I think this looks actually really stupid. It's not cool having like the road the same size as a walkway or whatever this is going to be. So I don't like this at all. Instead, what I did though, I actually worked on another platform down here. So I have 2 blueprints going down there. And I think we've actually figured out how to do a half slab elevated ramp. So it's from a video from what's his name, MGS Genesis. I found a video and he explains how to do a half foundation ramp using walls. So let me rip this all apart and then I'll show you guys what I did. So it's not perfect, but this should work as a pretty decent road for us, at least for now. There's a few spots to fix, like the connection here obviously doesn't work properly. Easy fix to do though. I did have some issue with the painted line here. So you can see over there on the blueprint in the distance, it works perfectly fine. But for some reason, when I pasted it here, it just does the Z flickering thing. And I don't want to deal with it right now. We'll deal with that kind of later once we actually know if this is something we want to keep or not. This is just visual to kind of make it something different than just asphalt and grays and browns and stuff here. I'm not a huge fan of these rails yet, but I don't really have another option, especially for the angled part here. I really don't know. So for now, this is how we're gonna leave it. And then down here, everything is kind of the same. I can't get up there, but come on. There we go. It's kind of the same, but I removed the frame from the interior here. So we have a little bit of more of a better walkway. And the only problem we have, obviously this is like kind of messed up because these are walls. So trying to get this to be proper is just not a thing, but I'm really not too concerned. The only issue we're gonna have is there is no like really good frame we can use to fill this hole because this is a 2-meter wall. The only one you have here is a 4-meter wall. So like the angles don't match and it's kind of like, it kind of doesn't work. So for now, we're gonna leave it open. And then when we do the next one, we'll come back and like fill these spots. If we even do, I don't know if we will. So it's definitely not perfect, but we do have a road that goes all the way from our base over to our steel facility, and it looks not bad. I mean, there's a few spots that are messed up. You can see there's some glitchiness flickering here. There's a few connection issues like there and there that aren't quite perfect. We do have to finish these like ramps for access to the main area here, which again, I'm not sure if it's gonna be a walkway or what we're gonna use that for. I just think it's cool to have like an elevated center section. We also don't have any lights. Once we put lights in here, it'll look really cool because we'll have like an actual like highway type feel. And this will change and develop over time, so it's not permanent or anything. And that's kind of why I did the way we did, because now with the blueprint thing, I can actually just delete these in huge chunks, and we could probably remove this in like 20 minutes. Like, it's not a big deal at all. But now that we have that, we need to go in and put our truck stations down on either end, set up a little bit of storage, and then set up our route for our truck to drive, which I am a little bit afraid of. Let me get rid of this, get rid of that. Because when I put the truck down, you can see like, it's got lots of room, but at the same time, like not a lot of room. So we have to be careful with how we drive, I guess. And we won't really be driving on these roads. It's more or less just for the routes to like deliver stuff, because I think what we're gonna do is there's a cave down here behind our steel plant that I'm pretty positive if I go in here and I search for quartz, I'm pretty positive there was 2 nodes over here somewhere. Don't make me a liar. Right there. And I'm pretty sure one of these is underneath in a cave down there. So I want to go explore that once we have our truck set up, so that we can try to figure out if maybe we can hand deliver or truck deliver some quartz back to our main base and start really progressing that research. Anyhow, let's go and build a truck station. So I think I have a pretty good start here. I'm just kind of messing around, laying out details, trying to block in like how I want this thing to look. And I'm kind of going for like a futuristic gas station meets warehouse type of entrance. It might be a little bit overkill, but I think this is a pretty cool idea. So I actually researched, I looked up on Google, it's probably AI generated, but it's like futuristic gas station or something. And it gave me a picture of like a Shell gas station. And it had this like really cool design, I guess, in like the support beam. The only difference is it has like these like wall pieces that kind of go like this here, they go all the way down and it intersects, and it looks really cool. But we don't have any like walls that can do that. We don't have, like, all we have is like the basic walls, so you can't do like narrow thin walls, so it kind of sucks. But I've been designing a secondary one here, as you can see, because I need to move all this stuff. What I'm thinking is this actually needs to move to like probably here ish. And then these doors would be somewhere like here, I guess. That way we have room in the back here for like these truck stations, the industrial storage, that's the word, the industrial storage, and then anything we need to be able to bring storage up to this area. I'm kind of thinking we can do like an actual, not a big storage room, but a bit of a storage room here that all this stuff can come into, and then obviously use it for trucking. But once we kind of develop this as an actual building, this will be like the service entrance, and then we can do like a actual proper building entrance, you know, over here or whatever, with like a parking lot and stuff. And then this roadway is kind of just like the entrance to the steel factory. So it's, you know, we can customize this road a little different, so it's not the same as the rest of the roads. The other thing too is we have this like this cross section intersection here. I don't know where this is gonna go. This might actually just be where this building comes to eventually, and this will just be a road around it. Because I kind of don't want the main road to go through here. I want that to be up there where we looked before, because that way we can like make the road kind of come around this hill or this mountain, whatever, and follow that terrain. I think that's a lot cooler than having it go through here, especially because going this way, you end up with that. Like it's just very much, you have to go up and over the gas and all that stuff. And this way, it's just not very picturesque compared to up there, especially once we start doing trains. So I can't decide where I want to do an unload station on our base end. I'm thinking right here is probably the better spot. We've got these geysers here. There's 2, I think, geothermal vents right there and right there. You can hardly see. We put it over here though. This is all pretty much just wasted space. We're not doing much with this at the moment. We might do stuff with it when we expand our actual iron factory, but a lot of this stuff's actually gonna move over like that way. So this might be a good spot. I'm also thinking this side is a really good spot because again, this is kind of wasted space. We're using it for like these belts right now, but we don't really have a need for anything else over here. So maybe up here, I just think this, yeah, the other side's better. It's a little bit more flat, a little bit more on pace with this. And then if we ever do move our space elevator, we can use for something else. Yeah, let's do it over here. The other thing on this side, we don't have to have much in the way of like the actual building. It's just gonna be a place for the truck to dump and turn around. We're not gonna be shipping things from this out, at least not yet. So for now, I think I just have to put a platform down, a little front facing facade, a little turnout. I think we should be good. So I think I'm finally at a place where I'm comfortable enough to actually set up our trucks and move on from this. I've spent more hours designing than I probably should have, but it looks cool. And I think the idea comes across. What I was trying to do here is do like a gas station meets outpost type thing that we can put, you know, I want to dot these around our world as we have different, you know, resource locations and stuff for unloading and loading and all that. And I think this kind of works. So we have to incorporate the sink into the roof somehow. I want these antennas and stuff to stick out the top a little bit. So this might have to lift. I'm not 100% sure yet. The base floor is kind of where it wants to be. The second floor I haven't even started. But for now, it's not a huge deal. Our pipes come down, our conveyors come down and kind of just run to where we need them, which is exactly what we want. Because this obviously is going to change as this area develops, right? So I want it so that way it's easy to manipulate and change and update and all that, but also look, you know, somewhat decent. The colors, I still have no idea what to do with color. We need more texture than just stone and metal. Like it's really basic, but it's easy enough to manipulate. Now the thing is, trying to do design here is kind of tough because the truck station, the truck has to come through here, somewhere under this thing. I think it can go to like probably here, but you can't do a lot like sticking in the way. Otherwise the truck can't function and defeats the whole purpose. So it's kind of a tough thing to deal with because this is like just a flat wall that I really don't like. But I've been trying to do like little, you know, other cutouts in the exterior and stuff and make this look decent. All a work in progress. On the inside though, we have our truck station. We've got 3 storage, double storage bays here. I do have to set these. So we're gonna do, for now, let's do steel beams. We'll do steel ingots. Sorry, steel pipes, ingots. And then we will do nothing either way. And we're gonna set all of these, I didn't do it. We'll set all of these to overflow to the right. I think that's right. I think I actually didn't need to do it like this either, but basically what I'm hoping is that our steel, our quartz, whatever we put in here, comes through here, sorts into its proper storage, and then anything that overflows or is extra will either overflow out into our sink up top or go forward into the next one, same thing, and repeat. So anything that's not supposed to be in here should just go out, I hope. The question is, how do I get our resources into here now? I think I'm just gonna move I mean, it's just pipe, it's just conveyors. I mean, I guess I could just go, this one's pretty simple. Pull it straight across, steel beams. Maybe we go underneath everything and then up. That's probably a good way to do it. I do need to figure out coal though. We have to fuel this thing. I think if I just put a smart splitter right here, if I smart split off of this and then put overflow, man, it's gonna be tight in this corner. I did this really a little bit compact. If I overflow it through here, I should be able to go up, or I can just go straight up. Well, let's see. So our belts are run. It's not pretty. This is absolutely terrible, but we're gonna redo all this as we expand our factory anyways, so this won't really matter. It's just a matter to get going today. So the problem I'm having though is this here is gonna fill with pipes. This is gonna be beams. And the issue I think we're gonna run into is if we're using more beams, which we will be at the other end, then this is going to eventually run out, right? This will run out, whereas this will back up. Once that backs up, I think our truck is going to get full of beams more so than pipes more so than beams. There we go. Which means that I think we're going to have like a stockpile of beams on one end that are going to hold us up because the sink it'll keep up. I don't know how I'm saying this, but I feel like I have to put a sink on this end as well. I don't know why, but I kind of feel like the truck will eventually fill with pipes and not be able to allow beams into it while it's unloading. Maybe that doesn't make sense, but I hope I didn't just confuse myself and everybody else. So I should be able to now just turn this on. I need to make this look better. We're gonna turn this on. Once it's on, this should actually fill with everything here at an equal rate-ish because there's enough there for it. This should get coal. I'll let this make sure it gets to 100. I'm not putting a stockpile of coal because I feel like the time it gets like there and back in a trip, this will put another 100 in and we'll always have 100 in here unless for some reason our coal stops or we use more than 100, which will be something to figure out. If that's the case, we can put coal on the other end as well. Okay, now I gotta remember how to do a path, and the thing I'm kind of worried about is how I do this. So we're gonna have to go and turn and then back in. Cameras on this are really different than it used to be. And then back in, hopefully straighter than that. And then it'll load and then we take off and go. I think that's how we have to do it. Otherwise we drive in and then back up, which might also not be a bad way to do it. But drive in, load, back out, and then go. That might be cleaner, actually. All right, we'll go in, we'll pause, we'll back out. And then hopefully we will be able to make the loop. You know, I have to say, it actually looks, for being incomplete, it actually looks pretty good from a distance coming in. I actually really like this building. I'm quite happy with it so far. I mean, obviously we have more to do and unlock and stuff to make it look way better. But okay, so now if I pause here for a second and then go, we should be good. But yeah, I'm actually quite happy with this. This one doesn't look nearly as good, but I'm pretty sure that's just because it's way oversized for everything around it. So like it's built to have a huge building around it. Right now it looks just comically big for no reason, which doesn't really help our cause. Okay, and then we go through here. Perfect. Now we have to edit our path. We don't need, I don't think the double needs to be here. So delete that node, I hope. And then we'll set our timing on this. I think we're just gonna do like, I know it like loads instantly, but I think we're gonna do 8 seconds on each end. Turn this to be load, that should be fine. Feels good. All right, let's turn it on and see if we broke it. Yeah, it doesn't seem right at all. It definitely doesn't seem right at all. What is happening? What just happened? It doesn't like the reversing. It's also going... What? It doesn't like reversing at all. Oh, it's because I deleted that node. Oh no, that's gotta be why. I bet you it's messed it all up. I don't know why, but it stopped over here. It also didn't unload? It didn't unload because it doesn't have power, which would help, most likely. All right, now that this thing has power, let's see if it actually works. It has a delay there? Okay, so it picks that thing up from a long ways away. Obviously, we don't need to go this close because it already picked it up. Now it's gonna wait for 8 seconds when it really doesn't need to because it already grabbed everything. Okay, so we're gonna pull it out here, I think this time maybe. I'm gonna redo it. I wanna fix the other end, but first let's just see if this is doing what I want it to do. And it should be sorting everything perfect. Yeah, it really doesn't like reversing. It really gets confused. like really badly gets confused. I wonder why that is. Like it works, but it's like, it's too janky for me. But on the other end, I was watching and it looks like it like tries to unload from like here. So I wonder if we can actually get this thing, like when it comes back, I'm gonna watch it. I wonder how close it has to be to load. If I can get it so it comes like to here and then starts loading, then we can just turn it. We don't have to actually go in here. Going in here was cool, but it can just be for looks maybe then. So the claw started coming out right about here. So if I can like, it's gonna have to go like right here though, which kind of sucks. It's like kind of close. Okay, so here's the issue we're having. I can't get close enough by going like this. I can't get close enough in here for it to trigger. Right there it does, but it's like super close. I mean, I guess I could like get right in here and then turn, but it's like so close. You have to get this like press F to load tractor thing for it to like register. And it's like right in the doorway, which really sucks. So the other option I think I could have is by moving this here or here. This side I don't like because it's gonna get kind of closer to like the building space of the actual building as we go. And then it leaves like a ton of wasted space over here and behind. Over here, I could do it if I like rip this wall, or sorry, rip the back wall out, move this over a bit. We could lower this wall so it looks as if the door's closed and then do storage in here. That might be okay, but then we're limited by the actual stone here, which we can't go through. So obviously all this could go underneath and it wouldn't be an issue, but I don't know if it's worth like clipping this super close where it looks weird or moving it. I think moving it is the best way. Actually, before I do that, let me make sure that actually works. If I do this, power that one on, how close do I have to be then? So I can get a, I mean, it's not much better, but I can get to like right in here. I can be right there. Both these ways really suck. And it's actually be farther because I'm gonna have to actually move that over a little bit in the wall. So it's actually gonna be like right. It's gonna be rough. So I figured it out, and the way to do it is to make it look like this door is closed, have the truck station clip through the wall. So there's a little hole there, but the claw, when it comes out, it is going to clip through this. We could change it, but I don't really care that much. We're not gonna see this, it's just more for look. But this kind of gives it like that extra, like it does have a hole there, so it does make sense. In here, we don't lose anything. This can get like removed now. We'll have this bay still open, so we can actually do some, I want to do some decorative stuff, right? So I want this to be like as much functional as it is visual, but then we can rip this wall out now and just actually put our storage back here. The only problem is I gotta move all the stuff I just did. Why? Why? All right, moment of truth. Does it work? I hope it does. Oh, it has to get so close. I mean, it works. It's good enough. When you do this node here, so I actually had set it over here, just on the edge of where like it needs to be, but it defaults it to the center here when you load it. So like, there's nothing you can do about it. It has to put it where it needs to be. So it looks visually like it's loading over here, but it's actually not until it gets close, which is fine. It works. It's good enough. It's not ideal. The inside I had to like completely redo because obviously we had to put this in here, but it's fine. It's not that bad. We'll have to like close this off or make it look better. It just looks a little more not mechanic shop industrial. And obviously we have to do something with this. This is just an empty room at the moment, but it does work. So now let's actually go and use that steel on the other end and actually build something constructive for the day. So this is a terrible place to build this, but I moved our modular frames from over here just over to the edge of our factory for now, just so we can get this hooked up and start producing stuff. So I had to run our iron rods and our reinforced iron plates over here through this absolute mess now, but I added an extra assembler and now we have 4 modular frames per minute being made, and we're only using 2.5 here, but 2.5 is going to turn into 5 versatile framework, and then the rest is going to smart split off of here and overflow into a storage. So 5.5 per minute, or sorry, 5 per minute is going to be what? We need 1,000 total divided by 5, so 200 minutes, so roughly, roughly 3.5 hours, which is way too long. So 3.5 hours to do this. We obviously need to like up that by like at least 1/3. Like we need so much more production of this. especially because next tier, I think it's 2,500 we need. So this is not obviously the ideal solution, but I figure while I'm doing some building, I want to go and do some quartz exploring right now. And while that's happening, this should be just ticking up. So we might waste 3.5 hours between now and the end of the episode just while I'm screwing around with stuff. The amount of time I've spent building is just, time doesn't matter. We're just building and who cares? So let's plug this in. I don't think we're getting, yeah. So steel is the first one, I think. Let's do this. It's gonna be ugly. Ugh, that's very ugly. There, that'll work. And nice and slowly, we're finally getting versatile frames being built and sent to our space elevator. So it's gonna take a while, but we've got nothing but time. Also, while we're here, up top here by our coal generator, there is a drop pod. There's actually two up here. I wanna go grab quickly. There's also one up there I really wanna go and get. We still need a whole bunch of alternate recipes. Obviously we need there's like 500 more to get, so we have work to do. I actually really love the look of this from a distance. This looks really cool. Once we get some color changes, the roof on, that'll look really awesome. Pretty much the easiest one to grab, and we've never got it. I think it just needed power, and well, conveniently enough, we have power here. Yes, it needs 120, so let's just hook this up real temporary-like. And get you. And then I think there is one more just over here somewhere. Okay, that's yellow slugs. That's not what I was looking for. This one has... Ooh, it's a boombox tape. Songs of Conquest. I knew there was one here somewhere. This one is gonna be a bit of a pain. There's 3 of these stupid bug things. Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare. Okay, I don't have space for this though. What does this need? What is it? Plastic. Plastic? There's also a summer sloop here that we have not grabbed yet. I don't think we've actually grabbed any of these yet, right? Come on. Did I jump? That'd be great. Yeah, I don't think we've grabbed one of these. And again, these were a work in progress before. Also, those are 100% the old S we used to draw in high school, by the way. So let's see what the summer sloop actually gives us.
Summer sloop analysis completed. Summer sloops are somewhere between battery and conduit, harvesting energy from pockets of space with complete disregard for the rules of the space-time continuum, and distributing it into its connected ecosystem. This energy,
let the effigies harvest until the waves reach our shores. Consume.
Similarities to the hypothetical force of dark energy to potentially
These aliens
be
are
one
out
and
of
the
control.
same. It can now be tracked by the object scanner.
Okay, so let's just track them in the object scanner. That's cool because it looks like, so we have to do the SAM stuff. We haven't even touched this yet, but we need to do SAM ore here to unlock the fluctuators, which gives us dimensional depot. And this is going to be power augmenters, which I don't know what that's going to do. Obviously, I'm assuming give us more power. And then production amplifier, same thing. Not 100% sure, but we don't even have circuit boards yet anyways. We did, however, get a second Mercer sphere, and we only got one hard drive, so let's get that going. So now we've got quick wire stators and infused wire. Both of these, quick wire stators, we're probably gonna, I think these are actually really important. Did we already get a different stator? I don't remember. Let's rescan it. What is the point of an automated miner? What is the point of that? And the steel frame actually probably really good. But what we're gonna do instead, I'm gonna leave these. We don't have to do them right now. I'm gonna leave those both there. Let's do the other one. So while that new one is researching, I wanna go explore this cave. I've always had an idea to do like a quartz factory inside a cave here. And I'm pretty sure this is the only place we have now that we can't do quartz on this hill that we can get it. Like I don't know where else close to us there is quartz. The problem is we're definitely gonna have a bunch of spiders and stuff in here. And I don't have the rebar gun or nothing, so we're gonna be not great. I'll put, yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll put like foundations throughout here, make a pathway. Eventually, I'd like to bring like a train line or a truck line in here, but I think for today we'll just do conveyors out. If there is quartz in here, I don't know if they've moved it. I know the scanner says it's this direction, But they've changed. Oh, none of this was here. They've definitely changed this. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get a whole bunch of little creepy ass spiders in a second. Yeah, there they are. As long as it's not a big one, I'm not too concerned. The big ones are, first of all, they're disgusting. And they creep me the hell out. And they're hard to kill. Here, you little bastard. You ever get that feeling like something's crawling on you? There's a cave going out that way, but the main cave is over here. What is... I see you.
The effigy has no song, only echoes, but it is part of a river. Why does the effigy avoid the windows?
Attention. Your brain's operations are outside typical parameters. Time spent daydreaming will be deducted from your sustenance budget.
What? Okay. Okay, so there's one quartz node here. Isn't a Sam ore there? They're coming out of the walls. Oh, there's another quartz right there. Okay, so we got 2 quartz nodes and a Sam ore node, it looks like. I need to know... There's a slug up there. I need to know where this cave goes. This one should go out the other side. It's a long ways, though. We're gonna kill these things, and we're gonna explode. Look at them all. Oh my god, look at them all. They're everywhere. Just keep backing up. Keep backing up. Keep it in front of you. Okay, so we have poison gas over here, so we won't be able to go through there, at least not yet. Can you blow these things up? I don't remember. Can we remove this gas? If we can use explosives on that, that might be kind of cool. I mean, we don't have explosives yet, but, you know. So before I do anything else here, let's go check out this cave down here. I want to see where this goes, because I'd love to be able to put like a series of rails through here, or roads, whatever, and then do like a quartz factory with these 2 nodes. I mean, 2 pure nodes side by side is awesome. And then there's Sam ore here too. We could do a little, quartz crystal plant down here. I'm not sure, but it'd be cool to get that kind of going. And then maybe put a railway through all these little caves if this actually goes somewhere. Another spider. What in the hell is that? What the hell is this? Is this water? Am I underwater? I think the water is clipping through the floor. Okay, there's a Mercer sphere, which means there's probably more spiders and bad guys down here. I don't like this thing keeps talking to us. I just realized I actually can't do anything with quartz yet because we haven't finished researching quartz. So if I put our MAM down, our thing should be done. We now have copper rotors and charcoal. Really? We're getting like... molded steel pipe is good because this uses steel... That's a weird one because you're going to end up using the same recipe. Like you're going to use steel pipes with concrete to make the insulated one. So that's a... I don't know how I feel about that. Again, I'm going to leave it for now because I don't really know how I feel about either of those. But for quartz, we need crystals and crystals. And that'll let us do, which one's more important? I guess doesn't matter. So that lets us take the quartz now into quartz crystals. Okay, and then it also lets us do silica. So this is going to output 240 raw quartz. And this will take 37.5 to make 22 crystal, whereas silica is also 22.5 for 37.5. So what's 240 divided by, what was it, 37.5? 6. That's a lot. You know, the more I play this game, the more I realize that I thought I knew things that I don't. I don't think we actually need to have this like going out to our base at all. So I planned this whole thing to like have the, you know, have this go out, have the truck take it back to our main base. But we're gonna make crystal oscillators out here. So why am I taking all the raw resources? Well, they're not raw, but like silica. We don't really need this at our base at the moment, the crystals and stuff. but I'm taking them out anyways. I don't know why. I think this is, I think my mind is just kind of going a little bit. So let's get out of here. This is producing, I think. Well, at least now I can finish all this research. I want our blade runners, and I also want to get our crystal oscillators. I know these become big later on. I don't know yet, but I know we're going to need them eventually. And then the whole point of today was to unlock signs, which we finally have, and I should be able to get all of these. I've been syncing a lot of stuff. I think I have like 25 tickets right now, so we should be good there. And then I was looking back through some footage and I noticed that lights have been available for a long time. We just never got them. I don't know why I never realized it before, but we can get those now. Lots of stuff else to get here. Let's see. How many tickets do I actually have? Oh, I've only got 3? I thought I had like 20. I got 27. Yeah, syncing those smart plates, taking this much time to do stuff. I mean, it's good and bad because we're just slowly ticking up on things that we probably shouldn't unlock until way later. But it's whatever. I want all the signs. So that's 17. I got 10 left. Screw it. I want all the lights. I think I'm finally done with where I'm going to leave this build for today. I'm not gonna lie though, the lights are so much brighter than I remember. I barely have these things turned on and they are crazy, especially at night. I recorded a little bit of time lapse just to see how it looked transitioning from day to night, and I think this thing looks awesome. So what I've done is I've put some signs in here. So all this stuff is signs. I actually liked having them separated with this little black line in there. I'm not sure why, like you could overlap them and it looks really cool, but I think having it separated actually gives it a unique, like more LED feel. And then same with down here, I've just put some signs kind of sunk into the pillar here to get this neon strip lighting glow look. These lights here though, these are only at an intensity of 10% right now, and they are ridiculous. Same within here, these are only at 10% and they're like crazy. If I crank this up to 100%, it takes a second. Sometimes it seems like. Now it's not going to do it. Something is up with these lighting, because sometimes like you put it up to 100 and it's like super crazy really fast, and then sometimes it doesn't change. The interesting thing though is we can change lights to like random colors, but that actually hurts my eyes. I can't handle that. So I don't think the intensity thing actually works the way I want it to, because these things seem like they're very much at 100%. So I've also brought in our sink from up top. I thought about doing a second layer, and then I still want to. We have a spot for it up here. I've kind of just planned out what I want to do, but like really, it's not useful. It's just empty space to make it look cool. And I think from a distance, it actually looks okay with just a single floor. We can always add that later. But I also changed how we were feeding our system here. So these are now set to be overflow. The left or the right output doesn't matter. Overflow here will allow everything to go through. You can see those pipes are going through there because this is actually full now. So if I have it set to here, it's going to overflow everything straight through to the next one, and then it'll dump it in. So I don't have to worry about having like a right output as well as a straight. And this works really well. So clearly, as you can see, we have a full amount of pipes and nowhere near enough steel. We are gaining slightly in steel, but really not much. This brings over like maybe 100 every time, because our round trip for our truck is like 2 minutes. Like it's very quick for him to go back and forth. So we're not generating a lot in that time. So we're gonna have to ramp that up and change this. But for now, I think this has turned out really well. I'm really happy with this build, and it gives us a nice like tone for the future, I guess. I want to go back now and do the other building and kind of change some stuff there, and then actually like kind of incorporate this. Maybe not the same colors, but similar idea to this. I think it looks really good. This little outpost gas station thing is probably one of the best creative things I've done in a little while, which I'm happy about. This turned out really well. So I hope you guys like this build. I hope you want to see more, and if you do, hit that like button. But anyways, guys, I'm out of here. As always, I'll see you next time.